it's dangerous to go alone, so you better take one of these. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Legend of Zelda weapons. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at the best and most useful weapons Link has ever had in his arsenal. Even if the item's primary use isn't combative, if it can be used to hurt enemies, it was considered for this list. Number 10. Bombchu. This handy weapon first appeared in Ocarina of Time and offered a new spin on the classic bomb seen in other games. While not a necessary item to get, they did offer Link a more ranged type of explosive, as they traveled along the ground and walls, detonating on contact. The more useful version of this item, however, came in the DS title Phantom Hourglass. Using the stylus and touchscreen, players could draw a line along the screen, directing the Bombchu where to go. It could be used on enemies as well as out-of-reach switches, making it quite useful indeed. Number 9. The Spinner. While this weapon only appeared in 2006's Twilight Princess, it became an instant fan favorite. Players found it in Arbiter's Grounds, and it opened up an entirely new way for Link to traverse a dungeon. The spinner could lock into grooves in certain walls, and let Link ride around to reach new areas. Not only that, it also had a spin attack that let Link damage enemies as he bounced from railing to railing. Both of these qualities were used to perfection in the battle against Stalord, one of the most fun boss fights in the game. We can only hope this incredibly enjoyable weapon wasn't a one-off. Number 8. Thunderspear. 2017's Breath of the Wild completely reinvented the way weapons are used in a Zelda game. It offered a wide variety of features for each item, such as range, durability, and even some elemental aspects. Some of the most useful weapons you could find were spears, as they offered the best range of all the melee options. But the Thunderspear's elemental attributes made it all the better. Being that it was infused with electricity, it could stun Link's enemies and deal damage at the same time. It also had higher durability than most other spears, making it one of the most well-balanced in the game. Number 7. Hero's Bow. Link's been shooting arrows at monsters just about as long as he's been swinging a sword at them. Though it sometimes goes by a different name, the inclusion of the Hero's Bow is always a welcome one. If you ever find yourself up against a group of quick, pesky enemies, of which there are many, the bow will help you pick them off no problem. It's also used to hit those hard-to-reach weak spots on larger enemies. As the series evolved, the bow began to include different varieties of arrows like fire, ice, and bomb. Although, you might want to keep your eye out for a larger quiver or else you'll be in trouble. Number 6. Shiekah Bomb. Along with the sword, the bombs are one of the earliest weapons to find in the original The Legend of Zelda. Since then, they've been a staple in nearly every game. But it was in Breath of the Wild that this weapon was enhanced to perfection. With Link's new Sheikah slate, he has access to various runes that help him accomplish certain feats. And the best rune is the one that gives him an endless supply of remotely detonated explosives. This offers an assortment of ways to combat enemies, whether it be attacking from afar or setting dangerous traps. It reinvented a weapon as old as the series itself for the better, which is just impressive. Number 5. Fierce Deity Mask. This weapon can only be obtained at the end of Majora's Mask after you found all the other 20 masks and gone through 4 grueling mini-dungeons. But its strength is well worth the effort. There are several masks in the game that transform Link into powerful creatures, though none can hold a candle to the fierce Deity mask. Wearing it basically turns Link into a god and allows him to shoot beams of light out of his massive sword. This makes the final boss, and every other one, look like an absolute chump. You may call it overpowered, but we call it ripping through the monster who's been relentlessly terrorizing a helpless town extremely satisfying. Number 4. Fire Rod. There's nothing quite like shooting giant bursts of fire at your enemies. Such is the appeal of this classic weapon. First appearing in A Link to the Past, the Fire Rod is another weapon of Link's that's changed from game to game. Breath of the Wild took it back to its roots by allowing Link to lob massive fireballs at his foes. But the most impressive and most beneficial Fire Rod came in the 3DS title A Link Between Worlds. Here, the item shot a pillar of fire that moved in a straight line, knocking back enemies and hitting them several times. It's a simple tool, yes, but nonetheless awesome. Number 3. Giant Boomerang. The boomerang has always been one of the most advantageous weapons Link can collect, as he doesn't have to worry about running out of ammo. It's varied in form and power over the years, but the best iteration was seen in Breath of the Wild. The giant boomerang works like a two-handed greatsword, dealing out more damage than its smaller counterparts. But as it's still a boomerang, Link can hurl it through the air at oncoming enemies. There's just something so fulfilling about seeing a massive spinning blade fly through bad guys. Just make sure to catch it when it comes back. Number 2. Master Sword. You might be a little surprised to see the Blade of Evil's Bane in the number 2 spot, but in several games, there are still much stronger weapons than the Master Sword that Link can acquire. However, its legacy and magic properties are unmatched. In every game it appears in, this mighty blade is the only weapon that can truly put a stop to the ferocious Ganon, although it may need to be powered up first. This Excalibur-inspired weapon is by far the most iconic Link has ever wielded. Whenever a new game debuts, it's a safe bet to assume that he'll be able to find it in another forest off the beaten path. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions. Number 1. Hookshot. That's right, the Hookshot beat Link's legendary blade. Can the Master Sword let you cling to walls, rooftops, and targets like some sort of medieval Spider-Man? No, it cannot. First premiering in A Link to the Past, the Hookshot instantaneously became one of the coolest weapons Link would ever obtain. Not only does it let Link traverse over dangerous areas more quickly, it can also be highly effective in combat. You can't run out of arrows with the Hookshot, and upgrading it in certain games can increase its range. There's a reason it didn't appear in Breath of the Wild. It would have made everything way too easy. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.